When I'm making it, if I'm not mentally writing to it and singing to it myself, then it's not even worth it. And that's how I know it's there. Once I'm moving to it and I'm grooving to it and I'm already coming up with melodies, it's easy for me. Yo, this is DannyBoyStyles, Grammy Award-winning producer. I've worked with the likes of Belly, The Weeknd, Nav, Beyonce. I have 2 Grammys. Beauty Behind the Madness by The Weeknd as producer, and also Beyonce's Lemonade. This studio is called Light Sonic Division, LSD for short. It's an embodiment of our creative spirit. It's about having every space in every room somewhat inspirational for you to want to be able to create. And that's the kind of atmosphere we're trying to build here. When you grow up in Miami, there's like this sense of hustle that's in everybody there, and you can hear it in the music. It's difficult for me to make anything without an 808. The environment there creates that type of music for the producers and people that work. So yeah, it's definitely like a major influence on my sound. I ended up meeting Belly and my manager Sal and Cash and many of these guys, and they later on introduced me to Abel, which is The Weeknd, you know, and that started my journey into R&B, you know, because I always wanted to make R&B. I started out as a piano player, you know, so that transition from playing the piano to then like making hip hop beats, it was amazing because I got to utilize talent that I wasn't able to use in different aspects of the industry. A project like Kissland, like it's almost completely unorthodox to what is typical music of today, but that's what gives it longevity. When you push play and you listen to it and it sounds interesting to the fact of nothing else, it sounds the same, you know? Having that thing that separates it from every other music or any type of project that was done. If I can sum it up, a lot of it was about creative freedom. You know, Danny, do what makes you feel good. Don't do what you think is gonna work for someone else. Do what feels good for you. I've been working with Belly now for about 13 years. He's so versatile, I don't have an option. I can't go in there and make hip hop beats every day. He can write pop, you know, he can do bass R&B, he can do dance, you know. There's no telling what Belly's gonna want. He might wanna do country. A lot of times he walked in, he's like, Danny, we're doing a country song today, you know, and I gotta figure it out, you know. But it's good to have somebody on your team and on your side when you're creating that's not only very talented, but also is really close and knows you and knows the things that you like, you know, naturally. Like when we're in the room together, he just walks in, sits down, I start playing, we start going, I already know what it is. I've been using Maschine for, I don't know, it's been the longest time. Actually, the whole of Kissland, I produced all those drum programs. I did all of those with Maschine. I always love to be hands-on and create the feeling, because if you draw it, it'll be straight and there won't be a swing to it, won't be nothing natural to it, you know? So I gotta be able to do that. All right, so we're here in beautiful California. We're gonna go to the back of the studio. My boy Nick's back there. He's gonna lay out some keys for us and we're gonna knock out something super dope on Maschine Plus. Let's go. Yep. What's up, my bro? Ready to get cracking? Let's do it. Nick Lamb in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Usually I have the Maschine Plus synced up to my DAW, which is I use Studio One. But today we're gonna bang out on it just like this, you know. So Nick, you know what, bro? Just kind of like scroll through, go through like a progression, find a dope progression, whatnot. Something that feels good. So most of the time I just like, whatever the vibe is that anyone comes in, all the musicians, like I don't try to tell them what to do or whatnot. I just go with whatever the feeling is. Whenever you're ready, my bro. Pretty cool. I'll rock with that. Got it. Got it. Thank you, my bro. Thank you. Okay, so as you can see, I have the sample in here from our Moog from Nick. So what I'm gonna do right now is chop it up by chord for chord, because I actually don't really know which tempo I wanna go with. So I just wanna kind of separate everything. So the first thing I'm gonna do is edit. That's the first one. it's 4 chords that I want to get, so I'm going to duplicate it 4 times. I want chord for chord, so this is my first one. There you go. Sometimes you can chop the sample, or you go right here, you can just make it really big so you can really gauge where you want to start. This thing is so cool for chopping samples. It's third, now it's 4. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So, beautiful. So the reason I put it in detect mode, okay, is because I want to chop the sample up how I want to chop it up. You know, I want to have the most control of it. Now, what you can do, you could put it on loop, all right, and it'll loop to whatever you want, a bar, 2 bar, however you have the song or whatnot in your arrangement. But, you know, it's like old school vibe, you know, I like it like this. It's better. You know, sometimes I don't want the whole thing. I want to chop it up different. I want it to skip a little bit. So 131 BPMs, dope. I love it. First things first, I like to select my pattern. Always keep my patterns on auto when I first start, because I like that free range of motions or free range of creation. So I want to stop the loop whenever I feel like I want to stop it. If you can hear, right there in my sample, you see it doesn't stretch all the way out, okay? So what I want to do is go into my edit, the ones that are short. This one can use a little bit more tail. Just a little more. Okay, perfect, I got that. Okay, so now once I get the tail that I want, also what I do is I want to be smooth at the end. So I kind of like get it all the way down to the tip, okay? And what you do is you process a fade out. Right there. You see how that thing smooths out right there? See that? There you go. You like that? Oh, is that nice? Okay, let's bring the tempo back about 138. Let's see. Still a little edge. Here, set a quantize real quick. Yeah. Let's make it a little faster, a little faster. See, close that little gap up. Perfect. So let's go to our mixer. I really don't like to have what it is, I guess what the top line, I don't kind of like to have it over my drums. I kind of like to have my drums over my top lines. So what I'm gonna do right now is just adjust the mix. Just a little bit. I like to start with the hi-hat, okay? Because the hi-hat helps me set the tone of the record, like how I want the bounce to go, you know? And this is the perfect time. Okay, so this is the time where I use the arpeggiator. This is what I was talking about. So you come up here, you can lock it, you know, or unlock it. So when you can hold it down and let it go. But sometimes I just lock it because I know what I want to do. And put it on note repeat. That, look at that. There's your 8. Want a 16? Triplet? 30 second? Yeah? Check this out. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just quicker to do it that way. You know, I get the bounces of my hi-hats faster, however I want to do them. It's just more fun to do it that way. These drums are like my own, like, personal drums I've had for like years, like editing and changing a lot. Since I've done a lot of records, a lot of them have been like, I've had them already mixed from like top mixers, you know what I'm saying, whatnot. Hi-hats, snare. Got my no repeat on, pull it up. Yeah. Put my events, quantize that thing. Hey. Oh, I love these. I like to switch up my drum patterns a lot. So having a 4-bar length doesn't really work much for me. So I always do like the bass idea and then I double it. And then after that, that's how I can freestyle and kind of do what I want to do. Ooh. See, let's see. I love this. I just want to bring it. So I pitched the tune up on the kick a little bit more so it can kind of like have a little bit more attack, have a little bit more pop to it. So it cuts through. See how a little bit. So what I want to do is I want to kind of like set a little, just a small arrangement for a little filling right now. So I'm going to create like maybe like one more different patterns and a different scene just so I can fill it out when I'm listening to it and I can kind of get more of the creative vibe. And it's good for writers when they're sitting down listening. They don't want to hear the beat looping over and over and over again. So it's good to kind of make different types of arranging. So let's go here. Let's go to my pattern, okay? Duplicate my pattern. All right. Change my scene. This is all scene 2, pattern 2. Yeah, put you guys on pattern 2 also. No, for you, you stay there. C1. So then I go back to my drum. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is get rid of my kick. Okay. Just for this arrangement, just for this bass arrangement, not anything specific, just because I want the feeling of the chord progression to come in first and I don't want it to come in with just the drums, just because of the motion of it. So the first thing I do is get rid of my kick. Who else? There's a couple guys here I don't need to have. Hi-hat, get rid of that guy. Yes. So, okay, so I want to get rid of that less. You. Who else? Clear you. And you. Word. Yeah, just so you can have some kind of control to it. You know, when you sit down and vibe with the artist, so you're not just sitting there playing the same loop over and over again. You can come in, you can change things on it. You know? What I want to do is add like another top line lead on this thing or whatnot. Just like a cool type of lead or something over it. So I have a different section. So I want to have a different section that's really cool for any artists that work out, you know, maybe it starts with something lead, something that gives it a cool little intro or vibe. And it'll be Beautiful. Beautiful, my guy. I just let it play, and every single time I hit it, I just kind of gauge it from where I think the start should be to where I feel like it should end, so I know the sample starts on the 1. Let's do this. Let's make another scene. Let's duplicate that there. Go to this pattern. Duplicate this pattern and double it, okay? The reason I duplicate the pattern and double it is because I want the sound that we just did to kind of come on the 8th end. So when it turns around, it already starts on that part. Yes. Perfect, my bro. Appreciate you, my G. And Nick Lamb, ladies and gentlemen. Now I feel like I kind of have the beat in a cool place. It's not like the most drawn out arrangement, but it's good enough right now for me to go through each sound and kind of do editing and mixing that I kind of want to do, you know? I always do a small sense of mixing in the box when it comes to Maschine. This is the mix view, right? Right there. Mixer. Easiest mixer I've ever used. For the thing on this record, is my snare too high up? Maybe my snare is sitting on my kick and should sit a little lower. Is my hi-hat too loud? Where's my 808? You know? So I go through each sound. I go through each pattern. It's good to do that on the drums because the more you do for it before you pass it to your main DAW, the better it'll sound. Let me just do a little bit mixing editing on my 808 because it's there. Cool, but it just is not peeking through like I need it to. So let's see. Yeah, that 808 gotta be, that thing gotta be smacking, doc. It's all about gain staging. You know, where does it sit with the kick? Where does it sit with the snare? Does it need to be up higher or lower? And how do you want it to hit? Me, cause my 808, I have to hear that dirty grit at the end of it. I have to hear that, you know? That lets me know it's in a perfect place. And for some people, that's an obnoxious sound. But for me, it's beautiful. I love it. You know? Go to my sample. There it is. Empty. Browse. Okay. Effects. All right. We don't need nothing too crazy. There we go. Make sure the limiter is on. That's how you get this thing to hit hard. You throw the transient master on your snare, okay? When you first put it on there, of course, it's gonna start with a little tail. All you gotta do is just adjust that sustain, bring that thing down, and use your input gain. It's naturally gonna give you like this little distorted, grainy kind of sound to it, but it's still gonna put it up to the top. And also make sure your limiter is on. Keep your limiter on. This scene right here has the lead in it. It's a sample though, okay? When I switch to another pad, it's gonna keep playing. So to have an open space so when it plays and there's nothing there, I make a blank scene. Let me show you. Plays. See? Turn it off. I wanted to find something else dope to put in there, all right? Went through my Massive. Massive always has dope sounds. Like if you're looking for like top lines, like something that, you know, you're always looking for that, to find that one sound in the package that you can just play it and it plays perfect over it. You don't have to add a whole bunch of things to it. Like you can find that simply in Massive. So this scene right here that I originally created, you know, you feel like it has the most of the drums and everything in it. So I want to add something on top of it to add like another layer when they're in a verse, you know, or maybe a different part of the chorus. So I make another scene of that, go here, duplicate, make another scene, and then I play over that one. Defense. Okay, so this sound is Analog Dreams. It's a preset in Massive. I love how it is. I love how I have it right now, but I want to kind of like add a little filter to it or something, you know. Go to my sound, I select my sound, it's there. There it is. Go to my effects. See, that's cool. I might be able to work with that one. Because what I'm trying to do is make it move around a little bit. Rolling over my cutoff just to get my desired frequency because I don't want it to cut too high. So I roll it down a little bit just so it sounds a little cool. Yeah, we're gonna keep this one. I have all my scenes and my patterns, and I have a bass idea, kind of how I want the arrangement of my track to go. So now I'm gonna go into my scene. I'm gonna hit append, and I have all my scenes there, which made it easy for me. Usually I would name this like intro, break, whatnot, so I can remember 1, 2, maybe we do that twice. 3, let's go back to 1. How about that? Let's do 1. And then we'll do 3. We'll do 4. We'll do 2. 4. All right, let's push play. Let's listen to what we got. I never walk into a room and start playing music with people, you know, especially if I just met them. You know, you want to create something for an artist, it's best to find out what's going on with them, what they're feeling like, what's going on with them today, what's going on in their lives. You know, they want to speak about things that they can relate to. It always starts with a conversation of getting known, you know, a balance, because creating is a marriage. You know, you have to want to give the other person something of yourself to want to create something together. So listen, you guys rock with this? Go down to metapop.com, you can download the stems, you do your own remix to it, you know, some super dope, some super fire. The winner, the ones who have the best ones, they're gonna win prizes, you know? So this is Danny Boy. I enjoyed having you guys here today. We out.